Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to my channel. I'm Morgan and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in November 2024. So in November I read 7 books. So yeah, I'm just going to be kind of talking about them, my ratings, how I felt about them. I'm not going to do any spoilers. Just going to say like the basics of what it's about. Nothing more than you could find on like Goodreads. So this is also Vlogmas Day 4, I think. I hope you guys are enjoying Vlogmas. So the first book I read in November was Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. It was not at all what I was expecting, although I go into all my books blind pretty much. Like I don't really know what they're about, but this one, it was definitely something. Definitely good for the like fall spooky season vibes. Very graphic and gory. So just warning you, look up the trigger warnings before reading. But it's about these like 2 serial killers basically who meet and like a romance between them. So they kind of have this like annual game they play where they both are hunting a dangerous person. They kill people like for a good reason. So it's like sort of justified, but killing people isn't great at all. No, not good. But I still liked the book, and you know, it's fake, so it's fine. But yeah, they annually will do this little game. They meet up like once a year and they pick someone that's like their target, and then they see like who can kill them first. But they end up like forming a connection through that. I really enjoyed it. I loved Rowan. That's the main male character. It's Rowan and Sloan, or Rowan, I don't know. But I loved both of them, and I just thought this was a really cute romance. Well, not cute, that's like the wrong word. It's like a dark romance for sure, but I liked it. The next book I read in November was Anxious People by Frederick Backman, and I love Frederick Backman's writing so much. I gave this book 4 stars. I didn't love it as much as I expected because I loved Beartown and the second book to Beartown. I think there's more in the series. I've only read the first 2. Love them both so much. This one I still liked, but not as much. 4 stars is obviously, it was great, but it was like a little less, I don't know. I definitely enjoyed the other ones more, but I did really still like this. All his books, his writing is like so just like, he just gets it. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, everything he says is just so realistic, and like, I love how all his characters always like learn new things about themselves and they like grow as the story progresses. Like, there's always so many deeper messages all throughout his books, and I love it. The way he tells the story is just great. So this book is about like this bank robber who ends up holding these people hostage. It's a little, like, the plot is a little all over the place. That's the one thing I didn't love. It was a little bit like lots going on, but everything wrapped up really nicely at the end. Like, I feel like this book really just like, it did come to a good conclusion at the end, but throughout it was a little all over the place, but still really good. So this bank robber ends up like holding these people hostage, but you kind of get to see like why they were actually trying to rob the bank, and then you kind of even feel like somehow you feel like sympathetic for this like bank robber. Like, I don't know, like the way he writes, it's like so just beautiful, and you get to learn about all the different people that were in the hostage situation and like what's going on in their individual lives, and I definitely really enjoyed it. I would recommend. The next book I read was Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This book I gave 2 stars. I did not like this book, really. It was like very weird. Like, I don't know, I was getting very weird vibes the whole time, which I guess is kind of like what the point was. Like, it is like a mystery thriller type thing, but it was just like creepy, and it was kind of just super predictable to me. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, it was so predictable. It's about this girl named Camille. She's like a reporter, and she has to return to her hometown to like help cover the story of these unsolved murders of these 2 teen girls, or they're preteen girls, but she doesn't really ever visit her family. She does not like her mom, and so she goes back, and she also has a half-sister named, I forget what her name is, and she doesn't really know her, but she goes back and she kind of like meets her and gets to know her more, and she's quite the person. She has a very interesting family for sure. I definitely understand why she doesn't like returning to her hometown. You know, it wasn't like horrible, but it's just like, it was very predictable and not much really happened the whole book. Very uneventful. Okay, the next book I read was Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. Of course, 5 stars. Oh my gosh. This series, Boys of Tommen, this is the second book to Binding 13 in the Boys of Tommen series, and I am just like, I'm so obsessed with this series. Like, oh my gosh, I just eat up every single book. Like I don't even know what to say. Like, it's so good. I can't really talk about it because I don't like talking about like the second book in series, but you need to read Binding 13. It's like a romance. It's about Johnny and Shannon. Johnny's like this popular rugby player. Shannon just moved to the new school. She's been like getting bullied at all her other schools. She's a really hard home life, while Johnny has like really great parents, and they meet in not the best way at first, but he is just, oh my god. Johnny is like everything, and Johnny and Shannon together is like, I just can't. And I can't wait to read the rest of the series because I think the next books are about like this other character, and I'm so excited to get into that. Highly recommend. Okay, this next book was such a highly anticipated read for me. I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and if you have like TikTok, if you're on Book Talk, anything in the book world, you've definitely heard of this book. Like, this is like the most popular book, I feel like it was for a really long time, and I've been like dying to read it, and I finally read it, and I do see where the hype is. Like, I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I did really like it. It's about this girl named Anastasia Allen, and she is a figure skater. There's like this thing that happens where the like rink they use, like there's 2 separate rinks, one for like the figure skaters and the one for like the ice hockey team, but the ice hockey team one, I think, got destroyed, and then they have to share a rink, and Anastasia meets this guy named Nate, who is the captain of the hockey team. But at first Anastasia is like so put off by him, cannot stand him, but then as they get to know each other more, things happen, you know. And like Anastasia's skating partner is like, she lives with him. I think his name's Aaron, maybe. I don't know, that could be wrong, but he is like not good. He's a mess. I did really love this book. I loved Anastasia, and I feel like she grew so much in this book. I forget why I gave it like a 4 stars and not a 5. There must have been something I didn't love, but I think it was something with the conflict that happened. I forget what this one was, but I don't know. There was something I didn't love, but I still really liked the book, and I would recommend. The next book I read was Powerful, which is actually a novella in the Powerless trilogy. It's by Lauren Roberts. I read Powerless, and then this is like the book 1.5. It's like the novella before Reckless, which is the second book technically, but this one's like in between or whatever. I mean, you can kind of read this one. I feel like you could probably read it whenever. It honestly doesn't really go with the book that much. I mean, definitely read Powerless before because there is like some spoilers, but it's kind of like a separate story almost. Like, it has elements from Powerless in it, but for the most part it's kind of just a separate little story going on. But it was still really cute. I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but again, it's really like, it's not necessary for the rest of the series, but it was still a cute little like emotional little novella thing. I think it was still good. I mean, I'd still recommend it. Like, if you've read Powerless, like, it is cute, and like I don't think it'd be like necessary to read before Reckless or anything. So like Peyton is like the main character in Powerless, and her friend Adina, that's what this one's about. So it's about her life while Peyton's away at the trials. So Adina is still stuck back at the loot, and she meets this guy who like rescues her when she's like trying to steal something, and he kind of like gets to know her, but he kind of has different intentions. But then like his intentions with her at first are kind of not great, but they end up getting to know each other and forming a connection and stuff, and it was very cute. It was good. It was also very sad, but it was good. And the last book I read in November was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This book was so good. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really loved it. The only reason it was 4 stars and not 5 is because the main male character, Wes, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I love him. Like, he wasn't bad, like, by any means. I just wasn't, like, obsessed. Like, I feel like to give it a 5 stars, like, I have to be, like, in love with, like, the male main character. Not even for myself, just, like, as a person. Like, he just didn't have that much of a personality, I feel like. But I still did like him. Like, don't get me wrong. Him and Anna, I loved Anna. Anna's the main female character, and I absolutely loved her. Like, her energy, her vibe, love. He was good, but he just wasn't, like, super anything that I was, like, obsessed with. It's, like, a fake dating trope type thing. So Anna married Wes just to get housing for, like, cheaper, because she was, like, a artist and she's, like, living paycheck to paycheck. And this guy Wes, like, was her friend's brother, so they just ended up, like, pretending to be married so that it helped her save money and stuff. And little did she know, it was actually helping him too, because, like, he gets this, like, inheritance and stuff. It's kind of hard to explain, you have to read the book. But he basically has to be married for 5 years to get the money or something. So Wes' sister is getting married and he needs to bring his quote-unquote wife, because, like, his family's never even met her and the dad's starting to think it's fake and stuff. And the whole family's starting to, like, not really believe it. He asks Anna if she'll come and pretend to be his wife for the day, or for the trip. So she does. It's kind of giving the Honeymooners in a way too, which I loved that book. A lot of people don't like it, but I loved it at the time when I read it. I think I need to reread it because it's been a bit. It was, like, one of the first books I read when I got into books. I loved it. So maybe my opinions would have changed. I don't know. But it's giving the Honeymooners, like, the same trope type thing where it's, like, fake dating at a wedding and stuff. Well, the Honeymooners was fake dating, but, like, on a honeymoon, but whatever. Like, just because Wes is, like, technically married, he has to be actually, like, in a happy relationship to get the inheritance. So they have to, like, actually pretend to, like, love each other and stuff. But then they end up actually possibly, you know, forming a deeper connection than they might have expected. So those are all the books I read in November. Pretty good month of reads. Yeah, I don't think I hit my reading goal yet. I have one more book. I'm at 84 out of 85. I'm currently reading a book. I'm, like, 70% through, so I'm gonna probably go read right now, actually, and hopefully I can finish. Well, I'll definitely finish my reading goal, but hopefully I can finish the book soon, because this book that I'm reading right now is kind of dragging. But you have to stay tuned for my December wrap-up to hear about that. But anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Peace out, Girl Scout.